What's good, peeps? Thanks always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. All right, let's do this. Q&A part 11. My washing machine has just started to spin. Fingers crossed you can't hear it. My fucking washing machine spins like it's about to explode. Swear to God, sometimes I think this thing's gonna fucking just explode. But yeah, I don't think you guys can hear that. All right, let's go to my email where I think I have a couple of questions. We're getting straight into this. Again, the usual, about an hour long. Yeah. Did you guys all watch Sean Porter versus Errol Spence? Great fight. Great fight. Here we go. What's this? I think I've got one here. All right, John James says, hey, Ade, nice work as always. And adding those interviews, you're just spoiling us. I am trying to add more interviews. I've got one on Wednesday, just something different. Obviously, I need to improve on them, but I just enjoy them, to be honest. I'd rather talk to someone about boxing than just do this. Today is my birthday. This was when? Sent this last Thursday. Happy birthday, dude. Happy belated. All right, question. Do you sleep with your mobile phone on silent or ring out? You do ask some random questions, John James. I sleep with my mobile phone on silent. You know, the funny thing is I used to sleep with it normal, if that makes any sense. But I just got disturbed by fucking tweets coming through and emails coming through and blah, blah, blah. So now it's on silent. So yeah, that's your question. Any more come through by email? Let's have a look at this one from James Rye, who says, what do you predict Zuffa Boxing, good question, will bring that's different to the current big promoters? Personally, I feel like a UFC setup could remove promoter network politics, force big fights more often, and formalize drug testing across all its competitors. The main problem I'm interested is to see how they compete with the crazy purses that DAZN and ESPN are offering in comparison to what they paid the UFC stars, who I imagine are bringing in better pay-per-view numbers than the much better paid boxers. Cheers, Ade. Awesome to see the interviews happening. Really hope you keep pushing to become the Ariel Helwani figure of boxing. That's fucking... I like that talk. I don't know what Zuffa's going to bring. I would have said something completely different if DAZN hadn't entered the market. I feel like DAZN entering the market had literally just pushed up everything. I think everyone's now on their A game. Top Rank seem to be signing a lot of fighters. PBC shows are getting better. They're putting on more shows as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Dana White can do. I've said for a number of years, I think Dana White is the best promoter in all of fights, like so boxing, MMA, etc. I think he's the best. He really knows how to sell his fighters. But the fact is, and I think you mentioned it here, the UFC don't pay anything near what boxing pays. Nowhere near it. So I kind of wonder... see, whereas DAZN kind of went in with crazy contracts to sign people, I kind of wonder if Zuffa, Dana White, can do the same thing. I feel like they might get the kind of, might go in small and get the kind of B-level fighters and clean up that market, which isn't a bad thing, right? Some of the guys maybe coming to the end, some of the prospects, and do it that way and slowly build up. I don't think they can come in straight away and compete like the way DAZN has done. I don't see... they've got the money, but it will be interesting to see what they can do just because of that Dana White factor. I'm sure I had another couple of questions. Okay, this one is from Muhammad Ahmed. Says, hi Ade, I have a couple of questions which I hope you address in your Q&A. Which performance was the best performance you've seen by a British fighter in a world title fight live? One of my favorites was Calzaghe versus Lacey. And it's funny because this guy is in the news for the wrong-ish reasons now. The best performance I've ever seen by a British fighter, I don't even know, was it a title fight? I think it was a title fight, but Nigel Benn, Gerald McClellan. That fucking hell. I mean, Gerald McClellan was coming over to fuck up Nigel Benn. I think people have got to go back and watch some of the YouTube clips of McClellan talking about this fight. McClellan was a massive favourite. And it was going to be a punch out. And Nigel Benn just put on a Nigel Benn performance. Literally where skill goes out the window, bite on your gum shield, and just get it done. I think he got put down in like the first round as well. It's a shame what happened to Joel McLennan later on in life, or sorry, immediately after the fight, but easily for me the best performance. Thoughts on Christian Coleman winning the 100 meters, the doping issue circulating around him, and the poor turnout in the athletic stadium. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Christian Coleman. For those of you that don't know what he's talking about, Christian Coleman has missed 3 drugs tests, so he's not failed. Almost like Tony Yoka in boxing, he's missed. But I mean, come on, that raises suspicion already. And then he's just gone and a couple of days ago broke his personal best and won the 100 meters in 9.76. So yeah, nah, I'm not having it. As for the poor turnout, it's just a joke. I don't know if you guys have been watching athletics. I don't know if there's any athletics fans on this channel, but the athletics world championship, so just below the Olympics for these athletes, is in Doha. I think it's a 50,000 seater stadium, and they literally have like 1,000 people in attendance. Jesus, that's just sickening. Makes my blood boil. I think I've got one more question coming through. Deji TMG says, your thoughts on the grilling Joe Joyce got post the Daniel Dubois fight on BT. Was that out of order, or was it valid criticism to be addressed in the public? I thought it was out of order, if I'm honest with you. I thought it was a bit too much. What's that guy's name again? Is it Paul Dempsey? Is it Paul? I think that's his name. He's good, but sometimes I do think he goes a bit too far, and he seems to have his own agenda. He done the same thing with David Haye a couple of times. That was actually warranted. But he does go a bit too far, and I think Joe Joyce has done everything asked of him so far in his career. Remember, this is an Olympic silver medalist whose last fight out was against Bryant Jennings, and I think it was a bit too much. That's just my personal opinion. I think most people think that as well. I think I saw a tweet from Adam Booth who said that he went too far as well. Obviously, Joe Joyce's manager Sam Jones is going to think that, but for once, I actually agree with Sam Jones for once. All right, let's get to YouTube. Let's see if we can run through as many as humanly possible. Avi Skoll says, do you think that had Parker been allowed to fight on the inside, he would have beaten AJ? No. I think if he fought on the inside, AJ is actually stronger. I don't think AJ is a good inside fighter, but he's physically very, very big. So I just think it would have been the same outcome, if I'm honest with you. I just think AJ is better than Parker. I think a lot of people are saying that now because of obviously the Ruiz factor. But let's not forget, before Ruiz beat AJ was considered one of the best heavyweights in the world. I think people have forgotten that. He asks again, thoughts on DAZN's insane schedule, and are they now the new undisputed platform for boxing? The schedule is good. It was always going to be good. That's what you do in the first couple of years, right? You put out as much content as possible to get as many signups. Let's see if it continues into the next sort of 2-3 years. I don't think they're the undisputed platform for boxing yet. I think ESPN is still doing a good job. PBC, I think, put on the card of the year. I really do. That Errol Spence card was fantastic. So I don't think they're the undisputed platform for boxing yet. Maybe for sport soon, right? Maybe for sport, but for boxing specifically, I wouldn't say so yet. Ade, can you do a fans meet and greet where we can come and talk to you about things in boxing? As I have so many questions, however, I feel bad to ask them more in a Q&A, as I would dominate the whole thing. Would anyone want that? I'm very much open to do it. I'm a very open dude. I mean, if people want a meet and greet, I wouldn't really call it a meet and greet. I just sort of meet and chat. Then yeah, I mean, look, we can do it. We could do it. I fly out on Sunday. If people really want to do it, we could actually do it on Saturday. I have no problem doing that in London somewhere. Small Ball says, neither you, Hatman, or Derek Chisora came to my birthday. Spent the whole night on my own in Nando's. Worst birthday ever. Sorry, dude. Sorry. Apologies. Next one. I kind of promise. Gabriel says, what did you get in your GCSEs and A-levels? GCSEs, I done very well. I'm not joking. Very well. A to C's in all my subjects, actually. I think I got 9. Was 9? I'll say A to C's. No A's there, just B's and C's. A-levels, fucked up. Big time. Boy, you know what it was, yeah? I was in an all-boys school. This is the truth. I was in an all-boys school called Rokeby in East London, Stratford. Any people from East London will probably know it. Very naughty school, but I was very just into football, basketball, and studying. I was very quite serious with that. Went to Leighton sixth form college, and obviously mixed. And just being in and around girls just fucked me right up. I mean, I wasn't even going to subjects. I was going to common room and everything. So I done accounts, IT, and economics at A levels, and I'm not even going to tell you the results. Gabrielle asked another question. Do you think Kovalev is a new fighter under Buddy McGirt? Not really. Not really. I just think he got humbled a bit in that loss, the knockout loss. And I think that made him change his own ways personally. Obviously, everyone talked about the drinking issue. And I think maybe he stopped doing that and got a bit serious. Kovalev's a great fighter. Always has been, let's be honest. I mean, always has been a fantastic fighter. But I think in that loss against Alvarez, I think that kind of humbled him a lot. And I think he's then decided to kind of fix up, knowing that this is the tail end of his career. I think Buddy McGirt adds something, but I don't think it's that much. Mr. KWX Ben 1966 says, will Dana Asher get a damehood when she wins the 100 meter? She's well in the frame to win gold. Yeah, it's a shame that obviously I'm reading this question out. Dana Asher Smith got a silver medal yesterday, got beat by Shirley Ann Fraser Price. No shame in that, set a British record. She is favourite for the 200 metres. So I think if she wins the 200, so gold and silver, there is a good chance she will get a damehood. Fingers crossed, I do like her. Gabrielle says, do you think the up-and-coming prospect, Fuzi Tube, can become a world champion and can be the next face of boxing? Is this a joke? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Dan says, Ade, what can be done to make the fights we actually want to see? Nothing. I mean, nothing really. Let's be honest. Not much. I mean, we all want to see Crawford Spence. I mean, people tweet about it, scream about it, shout about it. Nothing. It all comes down to money, right? And I guess now that there's 3 or even 4 big networks, don't know, it's getting tougher and tougher to get these big fights. He then goes on to say, so many of the so-called best not willing to fight each other anymore. I appreciate it's a dangerous sport and no one wants to see anyone get hurt. And I also appreciate it's a job and they fight for the money. But where have all the legacy fights gone? Where's the pride gone? And when did fighters stop wanting to be the best of the best? Yeah, you know what it is nowadays? I don't know, it's probably always been like this. You know, it's like when your father says stuff like, in my day, but it did feel like it was about fighters wanting to get belts back then. Now, honestly, I feel like they care less about belts and it's about money. And I think that the both of them have to go hand in hand, but now it's overridingly about making as much money as possible and not really caring what the fans want, as opposed to giving the fans the fights they want and chasing those belts. That's what it seems like anyway, but I don't know. Avi Skoll says, if you could box like one boxer, who would it be? For me, it's Billy Joe Saunders. Absolutely not. Roy Jones Jr. all day long. Roy Jones. I mean, I'll be shocked if anyone goes against that. Roy Jones, ridiculous. I think people forget just how good Roy Jones Jr. was. There was a time when Roy Jones Jr., I keep saying Roy, but Roy Jones Jr. was considered by a lot of people to be the greatest fighter ever. Ever. Not of this generation. People were saying ever, that they hadn't seen anything like that. Went up to heavyweight, beat John Ruiz, was favourite. He was supposed to fight Mike Tyson. I think people should know this. And he was favourite in the bookies to beat Mike Tyson. That's how good he was. Crazy. Superintendent Chalmers says, do you like Everybody Loves Raymond? Used to like it. I mean, it's taken off air now, isn't it? A few years back. Mr. Wills82 says, are you loving Man United's downfall with the Glazers? Especially now you're flying high. P.S. Keep up the great work on the channel. Thanks, Martin Wheeler. I'm loving it. Can't fucking lie to you. Come on, I'm 38. So through my young years, it was all about United. It actually made me feel sick even thinking about it now. For like literally, from when I was like 11 up until 32, it was all fucking United. Yeah, I mean, Chelsea got involved, Arsenal got involved, City at the end, but it literally was dominated by United. So this downfall is beautiful and it's not enough. I mean, I want it to continue and continue. And you know what makes it even more of a big downfall, sorry Man United fans, is that it's not like they haven't spent money. I mean, I think Gary Neville said that since Ferguson retired, they spent nearly 900 million. So all this talk about, oh, we're not getting the players, we're not spent. They've fucking spent money. They've had Van Gaal, they've had Mourinho. They tried two kind of internal moves, if you like, with Ryan Giggs and Solskjaer. Fuck them. Mr. KWX Ben 1966 says, when was the last super fight where both fighters were equal level? I can only think of Leonard versus Hearns. Most other fights, there is a bit of disparity in skill levels. I wouldn't say that. I'd say Golovkin versus Canelo was considered a super fight. Kovalev versus Ward was definitely considered a super fight. There's been a few. There's definitely been a few. Even Hopkins versus Trinidad, super fight. There's been loads actually. Come on, there's been loads. Don't be too harsh. 786 Naf says, Ade, give me a shout out. There you go, Hasnaf. Shout out, brother. Question. Top 5 intriguing fights, not super fights, you would like to see in any weight division in boxing. Gervonta Davis, Tevin Farmer. Got to see it. Gervonta Davis, Lomachenko. Got to see it. Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, 2 prospects I'd like to see go at it. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, just because of a UK factor. Charlo Andrade, definitely. I think that's 5 already. Amir Khan, Brook. There's so many that are not super fights, but I just want to see them happen. Jake Adkins says, it's only a few months till the 10s are over. It's true. Fucking hell, it is. My God, it is. We're in 2010 soon. Who is your British fight of the decade and fight of the decade? I'm going to go Carl Froch. And if we're talking British fight, I've got two British fights that I thought were just like, you know, when a fight just gets you. Dillian White versus Derek Chisora, the first one, obviously. Fucking hell. I mean, how they both don't have brain damage right now. They might even have it, who knows. And Carl Froch, George Groves, the first one. I mean, yes, it ended the way it ended. But for George Groves to put Carl Froch down in the first round, I mean, that fight had everything. And even the ending had a bit of everything. Education Pay says, have you left Fox Sports? What is your job now besides YouTube? And did you get that job you were applying for when you posted a compilation of your commentary on YouTube? All right, a couple of questions in there. All right, so have I left Fox Sports? Fox Sports is actually now ESPN Africa. I haven't left them, but I will tell you this. This is me being very honest of it. So I was supposed to be in Senegal right now for a tournament over there called the Wafu Cup of Nations. I actually did the opening ceremony or the draw for it in May, and I was earmarked to be the sideline presenter, which was good for me as a football thing. I've never done football before. I'm normally a boxing MMA guy. I got it, and then lastminute.com, they chose someone local, and I can't tell you how heartbroken I was, like very, very upset. I'm still doing stuff with them. Their boxing starts again in December, I think. So we'll be flying out to South Africa to do boxing with them. There was another company I was working for called Kwese Sports. I don't know how old you are, but they are like Setanta Sports. Remember Setanta Sports? That tried to compete with Sky Sports. Kwese tried to do the thing. Kwese tried to compete with Super Sports in South Africa and just got destroyed basically. So they went bust 2 months ago. Besides that, I do bits for different channels, so like Al Jazeera, TRT World. So I will randomly appear on their shows via Skype or go to their London studios and do anything boxing related. So yeah, I actually do a bit of boxing stuff with a Turkish channel with Ronald McIntosh, who talks a lot different than I do. So yeah, in answer to your last bit, did I get the specific job I was applying for? I wasn't applying for a specific job per se. I was just sending it out to a number of recruiters, just saying that I'm kind of now back in the country because I have been in Africa for the last sort of 2.5 years, really. Atizaj Raja says, if you could have a dinner party with any fighter, boxer or MMA, who would you have on and what dish would you cook? Love the podcast you done recently with Umar and Tunde. I would have boxer of MMA, boxer. You know, it's going to sound a bit corny, this. I would actually have the promoters. So I wouldn't mind, honestly, having Dana White and Eddie Hearn. I'd cook a spag bowl because it's the easiest thing to cook. But I would love to pick their brains. I mean, say what you want about both men. The fucking work ethic is just incredible. And I'd love to know what goes on behind the scenes, what really goes on behind the scenes. So that would be interesting. Seb Owen, most intimidating fighter of all time. For me, it's Mike Tyson. My man, I agree with you. I agree with you. Sometimes it's funny now when you see Tyson now and he's almost completely changed, right? He's just completely different. Tyson in the 80s, we think that, we get like Dillian White and Chisora. Tyson in the 80s was the most intimidating fucking boxer, fighter in the history of the sport. Has to be. Bean Queen says, ever thought about discussing your time with Fox Sports Africa in more depth during a video? How do you even prepare for a job in commentary analysis? I might do that actually, because it is very interesting, and I think it will inspire people to just go for it. Really just go for your goals or whatever you want to achieve. Let me tell you how random it is actually. So I was working out in Africa for a company called Kwese Sports. Now, I found out that Fox Sports, just because I'm always online, coming to Africa. And I thought, fucking hell, they're coming to Africa. So I went on LinkedIn, found out who is the head of Fox Sports Africa, or who's going to head it up. Found him, sent him an email, no response. No response. Sent him my showreel. My showreel was shocking, no response. Basically, showreels are clips of kind of all the stuff I've been doing. And to be fair, I hadn't done much, so it didn't look great. But I knew that I was in Africa and I was the boxing person for Kwesi, so I thought there's a good chance. And then I was on our way back. Sorry, we'd done a show. This is Kwesi. Sorry, this is wasting a lot of time in the Q&A. But on the way back was on our way back from Zimbabwe. We had done a boxing show in Zimbabwe, and on the bus that takes you from the airport to the plane, the head of Fox Sports was on the bus, and he looked at me and he said, Ade. And for some reason, I thought he was a fan of Box Talk or whatever. I was like, yeah. And he said, oh, Fox Sports. I was like, oh shit, Kyle. That's his name. And I was like, okay. He was like, oh yeah, I'll be in touch. And I was like, yeah, whatever. You ain't gonna be in touch. And then they reached out. They reached out to me about 2 months later saying, we've got a boxing event, and would you like to commentate? Bear in mind, like, they had been using the guy from BT Sports as a commentator, Dempsey. He was their commentator for the first 7 or 8 shows, but they wanted someone a bit younger. So they reached out to me to be co-commentator. And can't lie to you, very nervous. But I will say this about myself. I don't really prepare per se. I mean, I find out a bit of information about the boxers, but I realize that I'm so ingrained in boxing that it's almost just up there naturally, if that makes any sense. Like, but maybe because of doing this and all the videos I watch, all the events I watch, I feel like my knowledge is just there. So I don't really prepare, but I can't lie to you. That Fox Sports gig, the first one I did, which was about a year ago, definitely, hands down, the proudest moment of my life. Like, you're talking about a guy from fucking YouTube sitting down on a chair talking to get to Fox Sports. I mean, proudest moment of my life by far. Anyway, that was a bit much. Deccan says, my man, what brand is the black hoodie with the ninja logo on it? Worn it in some earlier videos. Looks sick. I can't even lie to you. That, my friend, is a cheap H&M top. Have I got it here? I think it's actually in the washing machine. But that's a cheap £10 H&M top. Looks quite good though, I can't lie to you. Boxing... this is a joke, this one. Boxing Monkey says, would you let Adam Smith sit on one of your vintage leather chairs? Or would you politely ask him to sit on a towel? Adam Smith gets so much stick. I think Adam Smith's all right. I've actually interviewed him a few times, and his knowledge of the sport, and I think he's one of the most underrated commentators. I think he's a fantastic commentator as well. Fantastic. Stuart Riley says, anyone know what's happening with Josh Kelly? Your guess is as good as mine, mate. I always get suspicious when a fighter takes this amount of time off and no one knows why. I mean, there's a show in Newcastle Ritson versus Robbie Davis Jr. You'd think that would be perfect for him. Seems like he's dropped off the face of the earth. I agree, since the Joshua Ruiz gig, and no one has mentioned him anymore. Any idea, Ade? I don't have any idea. I can't lie to you. I mean, the only person that seems to be mentioning him right now is Conor Benn. I mean, even Eddie Hearn don't talk about him. And I find it strange as well that none of the YouTubers talk about him. It's like they know, but ain't saying. Haida Khan says, hey, Ade, love the direction you're taking the channel and exploring new avenues. My question is, if you could interview a boxer from the past who's not alive anymore, who would it be and what would be your biggest question to them? Muhammad Ali. Oh, fucking hell. It's just the greatest man ever. Just the greatest. He's not even the greatest boxer, he's the greatest man. Muhammad Ali. And I would ask him about the him being stripped of his titles for not going to the Vietnam War and how that affected him. Because I think people forget that was Muhammad Ali in his prime. Imagine not being able to do the thing you love in your prime. That would have been difficult. But yeah, but Muhammad Ali, definitely. BG London says, what were your favourite Saturday morning cartoons as a child? Thundercats. X-Men. Fuck, there was a guy as well on a horse. Braveheart. Was it Braveheart? It was Braveheart. Those were the three. Kids don't know about this nowadays. Kids do not know nothing nowadays. Bloody hell. Original Individual says, what would be a bigger loss to UK boxing? Huey Fury retiring or TM Booth coming off YouTube? Yeah. You know, the funny thing is, I did ask Umar Ahmed about TM Booth, and he says it's just something he puts on. Like, it's not him. It's not real, which is a shame. I kind of guessed that anyway, because it's so fucking good. But regardless if it's not real or not, it's still fantastic. Henry999 says, Ade, what do you think of Nigel Benn's return to the ring? And also, what sort of pay-per-view numbers do you think it will do? P.S. Really enjoying the new guest you've had on. Keep up the good work. Thank you, bro. Obviously, I made the video about Nigel Benn's return to the ring. Shocking. I do think it will do good pay-per-view numbers, though. I have to be honest with you. The only issue, not really an issue, but I guess Cam Smith fights John Ryder same day. So does Wilder versus Ortiz. I don't know if that will eat into his numbers. I doubt it. But I do think it will do between, I'm going to say conservatively, 50 to 75,000 buys, maybe even 100. People are intrigued. People. G-Man Boxing. Happy birthday, brother. It was G-Man Boxing's birthday the other day. He's so close to 1,000 subscribers. And well done. Honestly, well done. It's not easy. That number, it's almost like a number you just want to get. I remember when I was like that. Just want to hit 1,000. Just almost for that kind of self-gratification. He's so close to hitting it. He says, hey, Ade, 2 questions for you. Will you be doing any podcasts on your Patreon? I will do, actually. I've got to do something for the Patreon separate than this, unfortunately. Kind of, unfortunately. And who will you be interviewing next? I've got a Boxing Lowdown coming in on Wednesday. He's a guy that has just started going out there, starting interviewing fighters. I do want to get his opinion just because he's new to it. So he's not ingrained in it properly yet. Plus, I think he will be a bit like me and just say what he wants to say rather than feeling restricted. So he'll be on next. Wild Fox says, Lennox Lewis versus Riddick Bowe. If it happened, who would have won and how? Lennox Lewis, late stoppage, I think. Although, Bowe was as tough as they come. I mean, go and watch his fights with Holyfield. He was as tough as he's come. But I think Lewis was a bit special. I really do. But Bowe could have caught him. That was Lewis before Emmanuel Stewart. You know what? Fuck that. Bowe. I think Lennox Lewis, Emmanuel Stewart, Lennox Lewis beats him. But Lennox Lewis before that, a bit wild, leave the chin up in the air a few times. I'll say Bowe. Bowe, late stoppage. Jaroslaw Kiselinsky, sorry if I've got that name wrong, says, what do you think about Joe Joyce? Guy is like 33, has only about 10 fights and may soon fight with Daniel Dubois. Greetings from Poland. And no, I don't mind your jokes about Polish people. Obviously, because I say Polish cab drivers, I don't mean it. That's almost racist, isn't it, what I say? I don't mean it. I do apologize. I like Joe Joyce. It's just that He's just too old, isn't he? I mean, he stayed in the amateurs for too long. Stayed in the amateurs for far too long, so he's almost got this kind of amateur style as well, I think. But he is a good fighter, strong, and yes, he's only had 10 fights, but they're fast tracking him. Obviously, Bryant Jennings last time. Daniel Dubois, to be fair, might be a step back, actually. He's fighting Marco Huck for the European title. He's called out everyone. It's just a case of, can Frank Warren, Sam Jones, and whoever else is behind him get him the big fights? I doubt it. Muffin says, best Rocky movie, including Creed. Rocky 1. Rocky 1 is fantastic as a movie. But in terms of just popcorn, trash, feet up, I've got to say Rocky 4. Even the fucking soundtrack, the soundtrack for Rocky 4 alone should get an Oscar. Mark Denton says, what do you think the outcome of Chisora Parker will be? Do you think Del Boy has the power and unpredictability to walk Parker down and put him away? I don't. I think this is where the chapter closes for Derek Chisora. I think he's had a good run. The fact that he's even here on another pay-per-view event with like 9 defeats on his record is testament to how much this guy just doesn't give up. But I think Parker's just too good for him. I think Parker's too fast, too fresh, right? Not much damage Parker's had when you compare it with Chisora. And I actually don't think Chisora's got that much power either. I know he knocked out Spilka, but Chisora has definitely not got one-punch KO power. And he's a big lad. And what's going on as well? Who's he being trained by right now? I think he's training himself. Obviously, no Dave Coldwell as well. So those kind of factors, yeah, I'm going with Parker. Eddie Eagle says, Luke Campbell versus Devin Haney. Who do you think would win and how? Luke Campbell is kind of proven in the sense that we've seen him in with Linares and Loma, right? And he's handled himself pretty well in both. I think we can say that. We haven't seen Devin Haney with anyone. So right now, I know people are very high on Devin Haney, but I have to go for proven rather than what I think. And I'm going to go Luke Campbell will edge him by points. Just because, again, Devin Haney does look great, but who against? Whereas Luke Campbell, split decision against Linares, a live Linares, and I think gave Loma a decent fight as well. Thomas Morgan says, what Premier League footballers do you think are on PEDs? Fucking hell. Loads. Hundreds. I watch football now. And don't get me wrong, obviously conditioning's different. They're definitely going to be fitter, stronger, faster, all that crap. But remember back in the day, like 90th minute, fucking they're on their feet. Like even go back as 10 years. They're on their feet, 90th minute. They can't move. These guys, I swear to God, if you turned it on, you wouldn't know if it was the first minute or the 90th minute. Nah, they're doing loads of shit. And how quick they recover from injuries now. There were some injuries, like hamstring injuries and groin injuries, where you're like, oh, he's out for 3 months. Now, it's like, yeah, he's out for 2 weeks. Whatever. Andy Aguirre, is that right? I need to get better with my pronunciations. Says, who do you think is the better interviewer, Rob or Uma? IFL Uma. I think they're both good. If I'm honest with you, I think they're both good. I think Rob just has a bit more experience. Obviously, he's been doing it a lot longer. Remember, he used to work for Behind the Gloves as well. Uma's only been doing this a year and a bit. No journalist background whatsoever. But I think Rob is slightly ahead right now. It's not a race. I think they're both doing what they're doing. I think Rob is very good. I think Rob could do anything. I mean, like, work for the BBC, Sky Sports. I mean, I think he's actually limiting himself, if I'm honest with you, with Boxing Social. No disrespect to Boxing Social. I just think that Rob could work for anyone, honestly. Castle View Promotion says, what do your family and friends think of your success on YouTube and the rest of your boxing life? I don't think they actually think this is success. They know I have a YouTube channel, like my mum knows I do YouTube, but I don't really talk about it, to be honest, too much. But with regards to like my other boxing stuff, especially with the Fox Sport thing, that was big for the family, I can't lie to you. They were happy and shocked, and now they're a lot more interested. DMD says, hi Addy, do you think Tyson Fury's cuts in his last fight will be career defining? Personally, I think those cuts will always open up again early on in every fight from now on. Yeah, fucked. Yeah, That's it. I don't care what plastic surgeon he went to. When you look at fighters that routinely got cut, I mean, Ricky Hatton, every single time, boom, opened up. Gabriel Rosado, boom, opened up. Will continually open up. So yeah, it's not, I wouldn't say career defining. I just think that he's now got to do what he's very good at, which is literally just stand on the outside and using that jab and not getting involved. He gets hit clean, or even someone comes close and tries to headbutt him, it's going to open up again, and he could lose the fight on stoppages. Sorry, cuts, so it could be stopped. XA Gregory says, would you do a sit-down interview on your channel with TM Booth like the ones you've done with Umar Tunde? I don't know. I kind of said this before, that I think that that's a character he puts on and is not the real him. So I'm not quite sure. It'd be quite weird. Am I talking to TM Booth, former boxer, or am I talking to this guy that's just set up the new YouTube, which is fun? Look, fantastic channel, hands up. Love it. I watch it religiously. But I wouldn't know what TM Booth I'm talking to, which is a bit weird. EL the meme says, if you became a trainer, do you think you would have enough knowledge to take a very talented amateur and make him into a world champion? No, absolutely not. Especially now that I sat down and spoke with Tunde. I mean, the amount of effort that guy puts in. He has, he told me like a 10,000 word, or I don't know if it was word or page, I'm guessing it must be word actually, 10,000 word document he's put together of like every possible punch, every jab. Literally, it's ridiculous what kind of work ethic goes into being a trainer. I just don't have that kind of ethic. Let Sticky Goat says, how do you see Canelo being ranked among the greats if he beats Kovalev? The greats. It's funny because it's almost like you fucking have to, like, I don't know, do magic tricks to be mentioned with the greats nowadays. He's already a Hall of Famer, Canelo. I think there is a bit of asterisk about the Kovalev fight, just because of the Kovalev yard and how that turned out, and that round 8, and I don't know, Kovalev not really getting enough rest time. But regardless, he's gone up 2 weight classes. Fact. If we can put Kovalev to sleep, fucking hell. But again, he's got that steroid thing, hasn't he? Let's be honest. I mean, I think he's still juicing personally. Aldil Shakut says, if you were a promoter looking for a prospect that can become the next face of boxing, who would you pick? Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis, or Ryan Garcia? Also, thoughts on the new Top Boy series. Great season, but the real ones, no, the first 2 seasons were better. Keep up the great vids. Let's start with this Top Boy shit. I'm a real one. I thought season 3 was fucking excellent. I thought Dave was excellent in it. I thought, Kano should be an actor. Kano's acting is high level. He should be an actor. I liked it. I felt like you could see there was a bit, you know what it was? It wasn't as gritty as the first 2. You could tell that a bit more money was spent on this one. And sometimes that makes it less gritty, if that makes any sense. But I loved it. With regards to face of boxing, Haney, Davis, or Ryan Garcia, I would normally say Garcia, but I think Garcia is going to get smoked soon. I don't know what it is. He looks flashy on the pads and shit, doesn't he? But nah. So I'm going to go Devin Haney, because I think Devin Haney seems to have a nicer personality, and he looks like he can box. I think Gervonta Davis might be the better boxer of the 3, but I don't know how much he's going to sell. I think Haney could sell a bit more eventually. Rahul Raya says, bro, who do you think would have won between Prime, Cotto, and Spence? Love your content. Thank you. Cotto. Maybe I'm a bit biased because I'm a huge Cotto fan, but Cotto all day. All day. I don't even think we even got to see a Prime Cotto, if I'm honest with you. I think he was getting to his prime, and then that fight against Margarito happened, and that was that. I think the Cotto after was still very, very good, right? But not the same as the Cotto prior to the Margarito fight. Not the same at all. It's funny, if he beat Margarito, it was supposed to be him and Mayweather next. That would have been a great fight back then. Think about this, for example. He was very much at the end, right, when he fought Canelo. He still gave Canelo, who was very much coming into his peak, a good fight. So, yeah, Cotto all day. David Chester said, what happened to your round table with a few people? I spoke about this actually, I think on my last Q&A, that I actually went over to a venue about 10 minutes near my house. Not even that, 5 minutes near my house, perfect venue. And then I was lucky enough to sit down with someone. A fan of the show actually came and we sat down discussing how we were gonna do it. And in the end, I just know I needed a bit more thought and money to do it. Thought because I had an idea, but it wasn't really what I wanted. And money because I needed a couple more cameras, I haven't got one. Some cameras, some mics, rather than just filming it with my phone, which is what I do with this channel. So it's still gonna happen, 100%, 110% it's gonna happen, especially now that I am more based over here than in Africa. So definitely in the new year it will happen because I will get those cameras and I will do the round table because it's something I really want to do. And once I say I'm going to do something, I put my mind to it. Leo Donnell says, and thank you to Leo Donnell, by the way. I forgot about the Q&A. He reminded me. Thank you, Leo Donnell. I says, thank you. Ade, 2 questions, mate. GSP versus Khabib, who wins? I'm going to say Khabib. Funny thing is, GSP is such a good wrestler, but that's not even his background. I mean, Khabib wrestled bears. Fuck it, Khabib. And 3 times you held a grudge or were bitter towards a fighter after they'd beaten one of your favorite fighters. Margarito, because of that, I just mentioned actually, that plaster of Paris issue with Cotto. I'll fucking hate Margarito until the day I die. To the day I die. When Pac-Man fucked him up, I was so happy. Pacquiao, when he beat Cotto, it's weird how it's all Cotto, but Pac-Man when he beat Cotto, because that just pained me. That's when I knew Pac-Man was for real. I mean, he had some wins before that, but when he stopped Cotto, I was like, something ain't right. Something ain't right. Third one, Eubank when he beat Nigel Benn. So yeah, those are my 3. Mart H says, hey, they never miss a vid. Keep up the good work. My question is, how good is Devin Haney? A lot of people are asking this. I've watched his last couple of fights and he looks to me like he's got it. What do you think? Also, footy question. You can get Sterling back, but have to lose one of your front 3. Do you take the offer and who do you get let go? Nope. Not happening. Let's start with Devin Haney one first. I like the, it looks like he's got it thing. I agree. He definitely passes the eye test. But a lot of fighters pass the eye test at that level that he's been fighting. The next 2 or 3 levels up are so different. So different. So we'll see what happens when he takes a step up. I mean, there are guys in that division, Comey, Teofimo Lopez, Javonte Davis now. Tevin Farmer said he's going to come up, I think. Obviously, Loma, Luke Campbell. So there's fighters out there for him. Let's see how he gets on when he fights one of those. Then we can really say he's got it. As for the footy one, I ain't swapping anyone. The funny thing is, really and truly, Sterling plays off the left, so it would be Mane. Mane would be the one we're talking about. I ain't swapping Mane for Sterling. I know some City fans and maybe some neutral fans will say Sterling's a bit better, but he's only, if he is better, and I don't think he is, by the way, we're talking fractions, and that's not enough to swap. I ain't swapping, sorry. David Chester says, who in the boxing world would you refuse to have on the green chair? It's weird how this is all linking. Margarito, wouldn't have him at all. Oh, look, Margarito. See, this is the thing with Margarito. There's steroids, right? I mean, that's fucking worse, performance enhancing drugs. But then this guy tried to lace his glove. Fucking cunt. Jordan Sue says, if you were to fight anyone in the sport business, who and why? No one, to be honest with you. As much as this business gets me upset and makes my blood boil, it's kind of what I know. It's kind of what I expect. So I can't get upset with something I expect, to be honest. Dominic Ciceri says, would you rather interview Tien or Dillian White? Dillian White all day long. Dillian White's a legit world title contender and seems like a cool dude, right? Seems like a very cool dude. What you see is what you get with him. Obviously, this B sample thing starting to tarnish him a little bit, but apart from that, he's a cool dude. Oscar Pick says, who will be the top heavyweight contender in the next 5 years? 5 years, I'm going to say Tony Yoka. I think will be the guy in 5 years. Eel the Meme says, what are your thoughts on your fan page that has more followers than you? Oh, Instagram. I don't even have Instagram anymore. I'll tell you what happened. It got hacked. It got hacked, and it started sending out random messages to people. Why would you fucking hack me? I only had like 1,000 followers. But then I thought, you know what? I don't even want it. I actually thought about Instagram. This is going off topic completely, but I just don't even like it. I don't even like Instagram. I don't like spending fucking an hour of my day. And I was on it like sometimes about an hour of my day looking at other people's lives, fucking just going through their page. And it's just fucking fake crap, isn't it? Let's be honest, people, it's fake crap. And everyone puts up their best photos and everyone, it's just, nah. So I'm actually happy it's gone. And my Instagram's been gone for about a month now and I don't miss it at all. I do miss looking at some girls sometimes, but I can get over that. Mark Denton says, do you think Dubois will eventually go over to Matchroom? No, I don't think he'll go over to Matchroom, but I do see a deal with Top Rank coming, like Tyson Fury and Carl Frampton. Gareth Craddock says, yo, Ade, what's your favourite boxing movie? Mine is The Boxer, starring Daniel Day-Lewis. Mine actually is Rocky. I know it's a bit obvious to everyone, but mine is Rocky 1. But there was also another underrated boxing movie called The Gladiator. I don't know if you guys know that one. Very decent film with Cuba Gooding Jr. in it. Not many people know about it. Not Gladiator, but called The Gladiator. I don't know where you can find it, but it is out there somewhere. I am PK13 says, what percentage of major belt holders do you think are on some form of performance enhancing drugs? It's a bit harsh, this. I was about to say a crazy number there. 60? 60? 70? Crazy, right? Stuart McDonald says, where does Ken Norton rank in all-time heavyweights? Good question. Personally, I think he is very underrated considering his performances against Ali and Holmes, who are both on the top of the list. Yeah, I agree with this. Ken Norton. Definitely top 15. I mean, someone could make an argument and say Ken Norton's a top 10 heavyweight. You could. It's not his fault that he fought in two eras, which were just fucking fully loaded with talent. And he mixed it in that era. I mean, let's not forget this guy was a world champion, mixed it in that era. I would say top 15, but I wouldn't go against anyone and they told me top 10. I wouldn't say, oh, you're chatting shit. Wouldn't do it. All right, let's have a look. How long do you think I've been going for, people? I'm thinking we might be touching 45 minutes, an hour. But I feel like I want to ask or answer a few more questions. Just because, why not, innit? Why not? Saeed Mir says, top 5 pound for pound. This mythical pound for pound. Just the standard names I think that everyone says now. In no order, by the way. Loma, Crawford, Usyk, Inoue, Canelo. Whatever order, I'm not going to moan too much. Actually, I will. Loma has to be number 1 for me. Mick Cominant says, be honest, do you think AJ beats Ruiz? And how does he beat him, vice versa? So how does AJ beat Ruiz and how does Ruiz beat AJ, if that's your question? Be honest, do I think AJ wins? Don't know. Don't know. Nothing would shock me. Like, obviously, first time around, I was fucking nearly having a heart attack. Nothing would shock me. If AJ loses, it wouldn't shock me. If Ruiz loses, it wouldn't shock me. If I'm honest with you, nothing would. I think AJ could knock out Ruiz. And we've already seen Ruiz can kind of, I wouldn't say knock out AJ, but can definitely stop AJ, can put him down a few times. So no result would shock me. Now, that's not me sitting on the fence. That's just being so honest. I wouldn't be shocked with anything. So let's see. Daniel Campbell says, who do you think would win, Dubois or Hughie Fury? Don't know. I feel like a lot of people will immediately say Dubois. Hughie Fury, I think, should have beat Povetkin if he put the pedal to the metal, but just didn't. So that's the kind of levels Hughie Fury is losing to. So Hughie Fury's lost to Parker, Pulev and Povetkin. Dubois isn't nowhere near those guys yet, I don't think. So it's a tough fight. I would edge... Don't know. I'm going to say Fury. Don't know why. I'm going to say Fury. Callum Gallagher says, if the Cubans were allowed to turn pro, how well do you think they would do in the pros? For example, Savon, La Cruz or Andy Cruz Gomez. I think they very well. I think we've already seen it. If you think about the likes of Lara, and Ortiz and Regondo. Those are just three examples of guys in the last sort of 10, 15 years. Oh, that's my timer saying I've gone over an hour, people. All right, let's still run. Yeah, so those are guys that have done well in the last 10, 15 years. So you can imagine some of the rest that aren't turning pro, what they would do. So I think they'll do very well. Nick Clay says, what is your favorite fast food restaurant if you have one? Don't really have one. I try to eat quite well. I try to stay healthy. If I do eat shit, even when I eat shit, it's normally like grilled chicken and chips. So there's no like fried chicken or anything like that, or Chinese. I rarely have it. Mike Bike says, who is the biggest joke man currently in boxing? Someone replied to you. Who did they say? They said Kell Brook. David Chester said Kell Brook. Biggest joke man, I'm going Amir Khan. I'm sorry, I know people might hate me, but Amir Khan. I mean, he's got that deluded page. Amir Khan does chat a lot of doo-doo sometimes. Kane Page says, do you think any boxer can become a bigger financial draw than Mayweather? No chance. No way. Floyd's money is ridiculous. What Floyd was earning a fight is just stupid. Lionel Kashila says, Ade, if you didn't get into boxing for employment, what would you be doing for your dream job? Something sport related. I just love sport. The idea of actually getting paid to do something sport related is just fucking awesome. I can't do a 9 to 5 anymore. And that's no discredit to anyone. Like, everyone's hustle is different, but I just don't think, or I can picture myself sitting behind a desk, looking at the clock like I used to. Fucking hell. The depression. Like today, I had to go to Holborn. I had to sort out a visa because I travel on Sunday. And I got on the train at like 8 o'clock because the fucking embassy opens at 9. I wanted to be first there. I was like that on the train. I was like that, packed up to people. And I was looking at everyone's face and I was like, God, the depression of people going to work on a Monday morning is real. Can't join it. Alan Bennett says, why is Spence not in the clean boxing program? Or Pac-Man? I think we know why Pac-Man's not there. Spence, I mean, he doesn't have to be in it. But then again, I mean, the clean boxing programs are loads of fucking bollocks anyway, if I'm honest with you. A load of bollocks. So don't believe it. John T. Wall, says, who do you think would be the top 3 heavyweights if it was street fighting rules? Top 3 from this era and top 3 from all time. Top 3 from this era. Number one, I'll give you number 1. I don't know top. Actually, no, I'll give you number 1. No, I'll give you top 3 actually. Number 1 would be Tyrone Spong. Tyrone Spong will fuck everyone up. Tyrone Spong is fighting Usyk. He would kill every boxer. Like, just like that in a street fight. Number 2, I'm going to say Dillian White, just because the kickboxing background, and he's actually quite a good kickboxer as well. Number 3, Jarrell Miller. Again, maybe a bit too fat now, but former kickboxer. So, I mean, these guys can throw hands and legs. So I would go for those 3. All right, last couple of questions because we are way over. Let me just quickly check the time on my phone. Boy. All right, 5 minutes, or if that. Ian Ward says, hi, Addy, hope you're keeping well. Your channel and content is fantastic. Thank you. So many people say that. Thank you. Because I don't even think it's that great, but appreciate it. Do you think there is any hope or way back for Adrian Broner? And if so, who should he fight to get back in the thick of it? Number 2, if Chisora beats Parker, who would Chisora fight next? And will he get a crack at a world title? Cheers, Addy. You're a credit to the sport of boxing. Fucking hell, Ian. You have just made me feel good there, dude. I actually think there is a way back for Adrian Broner. I think the way back, though, could be very dependent upon who wins out of Taylor and Prograis. Prograis or Progress? Let's say Progress. The winner of that fight will have, 3 belts? Plus, I think the ring belt. If it's Taylor, I think Taylor will sign a deal with Matchroom and DAZN. I think there's a lot of talk about that happening already. So it's going to be very difficult for Eddie Hearn to make Broner come over to DAZN. Ain't going to happen. If it's Progress is pretty much a free agent. It can go anywhere after this. So there is talk, or there even was a lot of talk about Progress actually leaving the World Boxing Super Series to have a fight with Broner. So if he were to win, then obviously that's now a big money fight with Broner for a major titles at £140, because Broner has said he's coming down to 140. So Broner will get back in the mix. If Chisora beats Parker, I don't think Chisora will beat Parker, if I'm honest with you. I really don't. Yeah, he's not going to beat Parker. And even if he does, I mean, there's so many other people in mandatory spots right now, so it will take him a while anyway. I mean, Dillian White's been waiting nearly 2 years. You've got Pulev for the IBF. You've got Usyk for the WBA. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to take ages for him to get anywhere near a world title shot if he were to win anyway. Rashid Saidi says, if Canelo beats Kovalev, is he number one pound for pound? Surely he is. Who can compete with his resume? Yeah, it's not because of the resume, but I will say that he is number one pound for pound if he beats Kovalev. I know a lot of people are going to say it's not this Kovalev, not that Kovalev, regardless. This guy's jumping up 2 weight classes. As much as I have my suspicions about Canelo, facts is facts. He's going from 160 to fight the 175 guy right now. So, yeah, he will be. The Culture Medium says, best Liverpool 11 of the Premier League era. Love that question. The funny thing is, a lot of them play now. All right, let's do this. I love it. I need a fucking pen and paper for this one. Let's get a piece of pen and paper. Sorry about this to all non-Liverpool fans. This might piss you off. I can't even find a pen. Okay, I've got this little graffiti pen here. Let me have a think. So, goalkeeper Alisson. Although Reina could challenge him, but I'm going to say Alisson in goal. Robertson all day left back. All day, blood. We've got to go Van Dijk. I'm going to go Van Dijk. You know what? I'm tempted to go Van Dijk Hippier, but we'll go Carragher. We'll go Van Dijk Carragher. So I'm just doing a 4-3-3 formation, by the way, just so you know. Right back. We've not had many good right backs, have we? I mean, fucking hell. I mean, you're looking at likes of Marcus Babbel, Glenn Johnson, Trent. I'm going Trent. I mean, the assist king. All right. Is my phone still on? Shit. I've had to start my phone again, but fuck it. All right, so we've got Alisson in goal, Trent right back, Van Dijk, Carragher as centre back, Robertson as left back, midfield. You've obviously got Stevie G, right? So we're going 4-3-3, by the way. So I'm gonna have Stevie G off the right. So you've got Gerrard there, Alonso. Fucking hell! If only we had this team. I've got to get so many strikers in. Fuck, I don't know how I'm gonna get them all in. This is gonna be such a wonky team, but I've got to get them in. So I'm gonna have Gerrard, Alonso, and I'm gonna have Mane. I think Mane could do a job. So 4-3-3. So yeah, and then up front. Fucking hell. I don't know. It's not gonna work, is it? Like balance-wise, all over the place. But I'm gonna have Torres, Suarez, Salah. Woo! All right, so just to clarify, Alisson in goal, Trent, Van Dijk, Carragher, Robertson, Gerrard, Alonso, Mane, Suarez, Torres, Salah. Subs, the likes of Firmino, Mascherano, and the rest. It's a good team. All right, apologies for that, people. All right, Leo Donald says, Diaz versus Masvidal, Canelo versus Kovalev, what does more pay-per-view numbers? I'm going Diaz, Masvidal. I think that's going to do over 1 million. I think it's going to do over 1 million. I don't think Canelo Kovalev is going to do 1 million sign-ups. I don't think so. CJPA says, Roberto Duran versus Shane Mosley at £135. Who wins? Roberto Duran. Oh my God, I said I'm going to finish. I'm still going, people. David Chester, what would you be doing now if boxing didn't exist? Watching MMA. It's cheeky. Lincoln Coventry says, hey Ade, why do you think many relatively new boxing fans and some in the industry are always raving on about Loma being better than Floyd at lightweight? From what I've seen from the more credible names in the industry, You can't even compare Loma at lightweight to Floyd, and I agree. What do you say? Yeah, Floyd at lightweight. I'm sorry. I know Loma, you know what it is? I think we rave about Loma because he is that special. He does do things that are just incredible. But Floyd at lightweight, sorry, nah. Mr. Ishti says, I'm not going to ask about boxing this time. I'm not going to ask about Liverpool as much as I love them. My question is, is your top 10 favourite WWE wrestlers of all time? And will there ever come a time when it competes with other shows on pay-per-view like it did back in the day? Nah, never going to compete again. But, so many. Top 10. Jesus Christ, man. There's just too many characters. I mean, I could do a top 1,000. There were that many characters back then. I mean, fucking hell. So many. Macho Man Randy Savage. $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. Ultimate Warrior. Hulk Hogan. The Rock. Stone Cold. Triple H. Mankind. Undertaker. Dude, fucking hell. It was loaded. The Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. Ric Flair. Goldberg. Ah, good old days, eh? All right, last one. Shall I say last one? All right, last two. Senso G says, what are your opinions on Buatsi at this stage of his career? Hearn claimed Buatsi beats Kovalev now, but I think his last performance was pretty underwhelming. I honestly think Yard KOs Buatsi if they fought each other next. How funny. It's just switched around completely. Before it was Buatsi beats Yard, now Yard beats Buatsi. I guess we'll only find out when they fight, which isn't going to happen. If you listen to what Tunde said, I had Tunde here the other day, Anthony Yard's trainer, them two ain't fighting very soon at all. I think he's where he should be. I think we want to fast forward people too quick. I don't know how many fights Buatsi's had, but I think it's about, I'm going to guess and say 11, 12. That's not a lot. He's got Blake Caparello next. Blake Caparello fought Kovalev, put Kovalev down. Shot kind of knocked down, but put Kovalev down. Decent matchup. I think they should just focus on just making Buatsi become the best Buatsi and not listen to what we as the fans want, which is Buatsi in there with killers now. He's not ready. I think the movement is correct. And Floyd Mayweather, last question, asked, do you think Canelo is the best pound for pound in boxing right now? No questions asked. No, not now. I don't. I think there are questions asked. I think there are about 4 or 5 guys, but he's definitely up there, right? I feel bad. There's some more questions here. A live studio says, why does nobody ask Adam Smith or Eddie Hearn if the KSI Logan Paul fight will be on Sky? It is on Sky, dude. It is on Sky. It's on Sky Sports pay-per-view. Oh, boy. Finbar White, I've seen your question. I've got to ask it. I've got to answer it. Hey, Ade, if you could work for Sky or BT Sport, which would you choose? Secondly, if you was a boxer, who would you sign for? Warren Hearn or Bob Arum? Hearn all day long, because he would promote me like crazy, I think. And I would work for Sky just because I think they're better, if I'm honest with you. I think BT Sports are getting there, but I think Sky is still better. All right, that's it, guys. Peace. I'm sorry to everyone whose questions I've missed. I've tried to answer as many as possible. Peace.